Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the first US election in which cryptocurrency is a talking point. It's pretty big stuff, okay? It's the first election in which we very clearly know that Trump is notably pro-cryptocurrency, okay, or at least he claims to be, and obviously there can be differences in what people claim and what people actually do when they're in power. And Kamala is pretty notably anti-cryptocurrency, right? This is something we've established very well over the course of their campaigns. It's the first time we have this clarity on crypto stances in US elections. Crypto is, pretty much leveling up in its, maturity. To be discussed on a US election level in campaigns is quite a big thing for crypto. It's never happened before. It didn't happen in 2020, but, you have to remember in 2020, that was before the 2021 bull market. That was before things like Tesla and Elon Musk started posting about Dogecoin on Twitter, right? It's before it really got in the spotlight on any major level. It was kind of dying off at that point a little bit. It was the 2017 bull market. Everyone thought the bubble had popped. Everyone who didn't know much about cryptocurrency, of course, thought crypto was just kind of a thing of the past. It was dying off. But only in 2021, after the last US election, has crypto's, proven, okay, it's got staying power, and now it's started going up, and now the ETFs are released, and now it's actually being discussed on a pretty major level. So this is the first election in which cryptocurrency is a talking point of any capacity. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a major talking point, but it is being discussed. And so we have stances here. We have stances from the candidates. And because of that, obviously the inauguration is not going to happen until January, but we will have a sentiment shift in the cryptocurrency market depending on who is elected. And I think it is a pretty logical stance to take that Trump being elected would be bullish for crypto and Kamala being elected would be bearish for crypto from a sentiment perspective. I don't think that's a stretch. I'm not trying to make this channel political. It's just pretty clear in my view. I mean, I do a poll on this YouTube channel, by the way, and we had 68% of you saying Trump was bullish. And only 4% of you saying Trump was bearish, given the fact, even if we're ignoring politics entirely, given the fact that most people in cryptocurrency, or at least let's say 75% if I'm guessing, are probably going to lean more right-wing in terms of the economy, probably going to lean towards the Trump camp. I mean, that alone, that's the investor pool. That's the liquidity for the market. That's where the capital is coming from, right? They are the people who are going to be reacting to this election. And they are notably anti-Kamala on a generalized scale. And so if Kamala wins, you're going to see a sentiment shift to the downside. That's regardless of politics. That's regardless of policy. That's just a logical analysis based on who people are who invest in cryptocurrency. So yeah, I don't think it's a stretch to say that a Kamala victory would be bearish sentiment-wise for cryptocurrency. I really don't think that's a stretch, and I don't think you need to even discuss policy to think that. I think you can just look at sentiment, and you can look at the people who invest in cryptocurrency. So for that reason, this is a big election. It's a very big election, and if you look at the polls, it's pretty much even right now, okay? You can look at the official polls, and you can see it's pretty much even. Maybe the Democrats have a slight advantage. If you look at things like poly-market polls, which some would argue is less biased. I don't know where I stand on that. You look at Trump being ahead quite significantly. Okay, so interesting. Again, not going to sit here and talk about politics too much, but the fact of the matter is, we're not going to have any clarity about the Bitcoin charts until this election is over. This is a massive ball of uncertainty that is bound to affect the charts to some capacity. And for that reason, I would strongly advocate that you sit on the sidelines until this is over. Why would you touch the market right now? There's literally no point. So we'll briefly look into the charts today, update you on where we're at in the charts. We had a bad weekly candle close, notably, which is quite concerning, but obviously with the uncertainty in regards to the US election, these charts could flip over at any moment, bullish or bearish. So we'll discuss that today very briefly, but before we get into that, Bitfinex and Blowfin, if you're interested in getting on an exchange, you won't regret it, by the way. You need an exchange, of course, to buy and sell cryptocurrency. But if you want a good exchange, Bitfinex I use personally. I've used personally for about a year now. 15% trading fee discount with my referral link down below. But both of these exchanges have hundreds of trading pairs. They're both global non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world, and they've both never been hacked before. So those three things alone are making these exchanges very, very good picks. Use my links down below, get those discounts and bonuses, reward bonuses, 5,000 USDT in rewards on Blowfin, 5,500 on Bitfinex. With my links down below, it takes 30 seconds to sign up. Check those out. Let's get into the content. So I won't lie to you, the weekly chart looks bad right now. It does. It looks pretty bad. We had a very bad weekly candle close. We know that the important weekly chart level, and I've said over and over again on this YouTube channel, even while people were getting very bullish last week, when Bitcoin went up to 74K, people were jumping on the bullish bandwagon. They were calling me a perma bear. They were calling me a clown for not buying in, for not telling people to buy in. But look what happened, guys. We came right upwards to our prior all-time high, and right now we've got a major risk of a double top formation here. There was no breakout. The breakout wasn't real, okay? We went upwards, rejected from the prior all-time high, went right back downwards and closed right back below the level we needed to break in the weekly candle close. How do we know that we need to break 69K on a weekly candle? It's very clear. 69K is the 2021 all-time high. It is the foundational resistance of this level, right? If we look at where we went on when Bitcoin made the all-time high in March, where did we close on the weekly chart? We closed right on top of 69,000. Right, what about where we closed on this most renewed breakout? We closed right on top again of 69,000. It's very, very clear that 69K needs to be broken on the weekly chart, on a weekly candle. And for that reason, until it breaks on a weekly candle, I'm not going to sit here and say there's a macro breakout. And of course, without macro breakout confirmation, macro decisions, macro buys, macro sells are kind of stupid, right? You need macro confirmation in order to make macro decisions. At least in my view, that's 101 TA, that's 101 reactions to markets. And we haven't got that macro breakout confirmation. Bitcoin is not in a macro breakout. Now, with that said, it's still macro bullish. We've still got a macro bullish structure, but it's getting messy here. I won't lie to you. It's getting very messy. I don't like the look of it right now. I'm not macro bearish, okay? I'm not saying it's time to get out of the hell of the market. I'm not saying the 4-year cycle is broken. I'm not saying we're entering a bear market. I'm just saying these charts objectively are looking a little bit messy now, okay? So we need Bitcoin. We really, really need Bitcoin. This is the importance of the election here, to flip this around and start going upwards as soon as possible. And we need this weekly candle to close above 69K, right? We need that. Now, I don't think it's all bearish. I don't think it's all bad news. You know, we look at the short-term charts on Bitcoin, for example, we do have a bullish, this is the hourly chart. It's not really worth my time flipping out, showing you the more extensive stuff. It's just, you know, I do think there's so much uncertainty that any sort of medium-term and short-term analysis here is a little bit waste of time, but I'll just show you anyway. There is a bullish wedge formation here on the Bitcoin hourly chart, the exact same thing on Ethereum, bullish wedge formation. So it's not the end of the world. It's not like we're destined to go down here in short term. A lot of this relies on the election. We look at the Bitcoin daily chart. We do see the massive importance of the Bitcoin RSI right now. There is a structure on the Bitcoin RSI, daily chart RSI, which is showing us, you know, this is a structure, by the way, if you just look at the price chart in relation to the RSI here, that has led to every single of the last 3 major bottoms, I'm circling them right now, and every single of the last 2 or 3 major tops on Bitcoin, I'm circling them right now. We are on support here, which means we are likely to see a bottom here, okay? But we have to acknowledge the fact that this structure as a whole is a wedge formation. That's not a good structure. So, I don't know, there's a lot of mixed things about Bitcoin right now. On one hand, it's macro bullish. On one hand, the 4-year cycle says we go upwards. On one hand, we have reconnected to that 4-year cycle after the biggest consolidation Bitcoin's ever seen. That's all good news. On the other hand, we've got so much uncertainty in this election. We've got the Bitcoin daily chart RSI, which has led to the last 3 major tops and the last 3 major bottoms saying we are at a bottom point, but the overall structure itself is bearish. I mean, the amount of uncertainty here is startling, all right? So I'm personally not reacting to anything here. I'm waiting on the sidelines. I'm waiting for clarity after this US election, and then I'll make a decision about the market. I'll see what I need to do. At this point, everything is still structurally intact on a macro scale, okay? You look at the S&P 500, it very much mirrors exactly what I just discussed on Bitcoin. Pretty dangerous situation where on the prior all-time high, if we collapse here, it could be quite cataclysmic, but the fact of the matter is we still are on support. So nothing's actually broken structurally. There's just a lot of threats and concerns. Same thing with Bitcoin, same thing with Ethereum. So that's my kind of conclusion. I don't want to look into charts too much because I actually don't think it's worth my time here today. I don't think it's worth your time either. I think a lot could change in these charts based on the results of the election and also the results of things like FOMC, which is just 2 days away now as well. There's a lot of big things this week. I think a lot of these charts could shift very rapidly. Right now, I will say this. The macro structures on Bitcoin are still intact. We are still macro bullish. There is no macro breakdown, but there's also no macro breakout. And I'm not a believer necessarily, especially in circumstances like this, in making major macro decisions when there's no macro confirmation. For me personally, I'm sitting back here. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even trading short term. I'm literally just taking the day off. And that's what I personally suggest for a lot of people. I can't tell you what to do though. You guys need to do what you need to do, but that's me. So guys, fingers crossed for this election. Fingers crossed for the markets in general and the reaction to the election. Hopefully it ends well, and we'll discuss it maybe tomorrow if there is a result there. If not, the next day. We'll see how long it takes. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Guys, please, please, please leave a like, comment. Most importantly, comment. Go down there and comment anything. An emoji. Comment anything. Comment you liked the video, you didn't like the video, comment what you think about the election, anything you want. It helps out the algorithm, literally takes 2 seconds of your time. I appreciate it. It's free, helps me out a lot. Thank you so much for doing that if you do it. And yeah, I'll mention a couple of things before we end it. Wrong thing. Bitunix exchange and the Blowfin exchange, the two exchanges I advertise on this YouTube channel. I mentioned them about 5 minutes ago. I'll mention them again very briefly. Global non-KYC, hundreds of trading pairs, never been hacked before. My links are down below. Sign up with those links for discounts and rewards and help me out, help yourself out, get on a good exchange. And the last thing I will mention in this video is my VIP group on Telegram, where I trade altcoins 4 times a week. I post my altcoin trading plan videos with buys, with sells, take profit targets. Everything you need to make a trade is posted in video format. You just have to chart it up, copy the structures, and trade them when they reach activation. They have a 78.32% win rate over the course of the last 2 whole years of trading result. All the data is publicly available. You can see every single win and every single loss. You're also getting access to a group chat. Check it out if you're interested. Thank you guys. Have a good one.